There are two things people think about working as a musician on cruise ships. Some people think you need years and years of experience, that you'll never be good enough, that it's only for the best musicians. Other people think cruise ships are just a terrible job, the worst ever gig you can possibly get as a musician. But here's the truth. Neither of these are accurate. I'm Lara and I spent 4 years working on cruise ships, 8 contracts across different cruise lines. I now coach solo musicians on getting hired, and I've had direct conversations with booking agents about what they actually look for. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how much experience you need to work on cruise ships as a musician, and more importantly, what kind of experience matters. By the end of the video, you'll know if you're closer than you think, or what specific thing you need to work on. I'll be sharing my own timeline when I started, the kind of experience that actually counts, real examples of musicians that I've coached with different backgrounds, and the one thing that matters more than anything else. So just for context, I moved from France to London when I was 17 years old because my biggest dream was to make a living from music. And when I arrived in London, I've been studying, I've been teaching piano and trying to find gigs, and I've been struggling for 5 years before starting to get paid from gigs. So when I got hired, I was in a position where I was already performing. I was doing open mic nights, I was doing small gigs. I wouldn't say I was an amateur anymore because I was getting paid for gigs, but I wouldn't say I was an experienced musician neither. In terms of the level that I had, I didn't have the best voice in the world. I never really took voice lessons, and my piano accompaniment was quite basic. I've had classical training since I'm a kid, but the way I was accompanying myself was very basic. It was pretty much 4 chords. The first video that got me hired was a video that I took at an open mic night. I was a little bit more fancy than a traditional one, and the video was filmed with a good camera but just from one angle. At the time I was pretty much having 1 gig every 4 or 5 months, and I was not performing every single week like I would recommend a musician to do it right now if they want to go on cruise ships. The venues I was performing in were very small bars, and it was usually for free, and I was also part of a function band where I was playing keys. I remember thinking that it would be such a dream for me to be able to play on my own, to hold the stage and not have to be part of a band where I'm playing for a singer. If someone told me that I would turn into the musician that I am now, I would have been the happiest. I think I was way more ready than I realized because I had already performed live and I had performed on my own. So I had already practiced the position that I wanted, and I already had some shots of me playing live in front of a real audience. And if you're at this stage, you're way more ready than you think. Which leads me to what kind of experience actually counts when we're talking about applying for cruise ships and getting these kind of gigs. And this is probably the same kind of experience that you'll need on land if you want to be a professional musician. If we're talking about performing, what actually really matters is not how much you practice in your room, how much time you spend in the studio, or how many songs you've released, but it's more how many nights have you been performing, how much performing experience do you have in front of a real audience, interacting with them, playing for them, getting them to sing along. Because the truth is you can practice in your room for 10 years, but it will never teach you how to handle an audience, how to deal with the uncomfortable moments when someone makes a joke that's not funny at all. The way to behave and the way to perform is only something you're going to learn from actually doing it. So this is really the kind of experience that matters. And I see a lot of musicians who come to me and say, hey, but I have this diploma, I've done this conservatory, and I have been playing for 20 years. But actually none of this matters if you don't know how to handle the audience. And unfortunately, schools don't really teach you that. I mean, at least in France where I am. You might be really good at what you do and you might be able to create amazing videos, but the sad truth is that a musician who only knows how to play 4 chords and who has started making music 3 months ago, but who has had the courage to go to an open mic night and play for people is more likely to get a job on a cruise ship than you are. Now, this is why agents care way more about live performance confidence over technical skill. When you're on a cruise ship or when you get hired even to play in a bar or somewhere, what really matters is the guest experience. Are the passenger or are the people there who have paid to be there, are they going to be happy? Are they going to feel seen? Are they going to feel heard? And the truth is that if you are really good, maybe they're going to appreciate how good you play, but a lot of the time in cruise ships or these kind of hotels, these kind of environments, what the audience wants is to feel seen, is to feel like there's an interaction. This is what is going to make them remember their trips. Agents' responsibility is just to get the cruise line to be satisfied, and if the cruise line wants to be satisfied, they need to care about their passengers. And so in everything you do, instead of thinking, oh, am I good enough? Am I playing the best solo ever? You need to imagine that you are a passenger watching a musician on a cruise, that you're going to remember this moment maybe because you've really enjoyed the musical side of things, but also because the musician is able to handle their music, but also the audience. And the truth is that a lot of agents are previous musicians who have worked on cruise ships, but not all of them are. And a lot of them won't care and won't even know if you're doing stuff that are really technical on your instrument or vocally. Now, what I mean when I talk about live performance, I mean anywhere where there's an audience, whether it's 3 people or 100 people, it doesn't matter. If you're doing covers for YouTube, that doesn't count. It needs to be interactive. And the one tip that I would really give myself from the time when I was trying to find gigs is to prioritize frequency over quality of gigs. It doesn't matter where you play, even if there's 2 people, it doesn't matter. If you mess up, it doesn't matter. But if you do it every week, you're going to get really good, really fast. And it is uncomfortable to do so, but this is really the one thing that I think you could do right now to be ready in months. Now, what are the red flags? What is actually not good enough for cruise ships? If you've never performed in front of people, if you've only done bedroom covers or YouTube videos, if you have a repertoire under 50 songs, you really need more for your repertoire, at least 150 songs. If you can't demonstrate crowd interaction, and if you have no video proof of your performances. If there are any of these red flags, agents would literally pass your applications because they need to see that you have experience. They need proof, right? They're not just going to trust you based on what you say. And so you're missing the core skill that they're hiring for, and there's no proof that you can actually entertain for hours. If that's you right now, feel free to book a 15 minutes quick assessment down below with me, where I'll look at your specific situation and I'll tell you honestly where you're at. I'll give you honest feedback and tell you what you need to work on so that you can get ready. It's 47 euros and you'll walk away with a clear plan. Now, let me tell you what kind of experience does not matter as much as you think for cruise ships or for these kind of contracts internationally. Any titles, certifications, diplomas that you might have don't matter. If you've been playing with someone who's super famous, that doesn't matter neither. If you have an actual audience on land, it might really be helpful for your music career to be able to find venues. But for cruise ships, this really doesn't matter. If you've written songs that did really well on Spotify, that doesn't matter neither. Whether you have studio recordings or produced tracks, that doesn't matter. And whether your video was filmed in high-level venues or beautiful studios, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're filming your video. It matters how you are acting and how you are performing and how you're interacting with the audience. Now I'm going to give you some real examples of musicians that I have worked with so that you can see what their background was and how they moved towards working on cruise ships. And we're going to analyze each profile and see what they have in common. So the first one was a woman in her 30s. She was classically trained on the piano since she was a kid, so she knew how to play the piano. She was a professional singer and she had been making money from doing gigs, but she really didn't know how to accompany herself on the piano. She was not confident at all about this, and she thought she wouldn't be able to have a job like this or even to do an open mic night like this because it was way too hard for her. We worked together. I coached her. I told her that she could actually do it, that it's not that hard, and she spent a lot of time learning how to accompany herself. It probably took a couple of months before she was able to film the video and then start applying. Now, she already had performance experience live from singing, and so her confidence was the foundation. The second one was a busker that I coached, and so this one is really interesting because he had a lot of performance experience, a lot of interaction with people as he was performing on the street. He never really played in luxury venues or these kind of places, but he had tons of crowd interactions from the street, and this really helped him through the application process. It didn't take him very long to get his first contract. And the third one was a piano vocalist from London. She had been playing in residencies and she really wanted to do cruise ships, and so the transition was very easy as well. I have coached people who were not that good musicians. I thought at the time that it might not be very easy for them to get a job because vocally or in terms of the way they play, it was very flat, it was very basic, it wasn't incredible, and they still got a job. So this is not to say that the standards on cruise ships are very low, because on the other hand, there are very good musicians who don't always get hired super quickly, but it is accessible to anyone who really has this as a goal, who wants to perform internationally, who wants to get paid for this. It can be a goal to pursue. So what did all three have in common? They had live performing experience, they put themselves out there, and they had the confidence to be in front of a live audience. And even if they had to take this goal really seriously, the cruise ship path, and they had to prepare for it, to do the application, to film the video, to do all these kind of things, they still had some foundations, some identity level confidence that they could do it because they had already done it on land. And so what I would recommend for you is really to start getting some experience playing in front of people, trying to interact with the crowd, even if it's uncomfortable, because that's really going to help you and to propel you forward in the process of applying for cruise ships or these kind of contracts. So the key thing to remember is really that it's not so much about the experience that you have, but it's more about what you can put in the video that you're going to send to agents, so your showreel. So the question you should ask yourself is, can I actually create a video? Do I have the energy? Am I ready to step out of my comfort zone to do what's required to create the video that will get agents to be like, hey, that's good? Because there are no proper auditions for these kind of roles. It's pretty much your showreel, your repertoire, and that's it. And I helped a musician film her showreel when she came to see me on a ship. I literally got everyone in the room to clap and to cheer for her, and she was so uncomfortable, she was not confident, but because everyone was doing it just in the moment for the video, she got the job and her showreel was really good. So you see, you don't have to be the most confident musician, even if you're uncomfortable. If everyone is cheering for you, you're gonna feel good, you're gonna smile, and this is what's gonna come across in the video. It's just about whether you have the courage to create that environment for yourself. You can still be nervous and still create that great environment. So pretty much for this video, what do you need? You don't need technically impossible things to play. Literally just pick songs that people know with 4 chords, and you get people to say, hey, just sing along, come on, everybody clap. You get people to do this for you, and then you get someone to film. That's pretty much what you need. And for solo musicians specifically, make sure that you have variety, that you play in a diverse way on the piano or the guitar, and to show that you can play in a contrasted way. And an important caveat here is that if you're a complete beginner, it will probably show in the video, because it's true that musical experience does matter to some degree. So if that's you right now, just make sure that you spend a couple of months learning how to improve yourself on your instrument or vocally, so that you can get to a level that's reasonable, and so that you can start playing live and making the video. But honestly, the bar is lower than you think. You really don't need to be technically perfect. If I was starting over, this is exactly what I would do. So this is for you if you are still building experience. What I would literally do is to go to an open mic every single week. Even if I'm not confident, even if what I play is not good, I don't care. I would literally go each week, because it's through performing that I'm going to learn. And every single time I would get someone to film me so that I can put that on a folder and look at each performance. And if you do that for 2 or 3 months, I'm sure there's going to be 1 or 2 that's going to be really good, where you're going to have a good stage presence, where you're going to look confident, and where people are going to be cheering for you, and that's going to be a great video. You can't really control when the video is going to be great. That's why it's good to get someone to film you as many times as you can, and so that it really removes the pressure on you as well. Like, you don't have to make it tomorrow on this open mic night. You can take lots of videos, and you're going to become a confident performer even faster than you think if you keep doing this. I would literally learn how to interact with people as I play, how to get people to sing along, how to interact with the crowd. I would keep learning songs every week, so ideally, depending on how much time you have, if you can learn a couple of songs a week, up to 10 or 15 songs a week. Even if you don't play good, it doesn't matter. Even if your accompaniment is not that good, it doesn't matter. And really try not to only look at your iPad, just try to keep an eye on the room and to do eye contact with people, because that really helps to build that interaction, and it will really come across in your showreel. Okay, so if right now you're watching this and you're thinking, okay, I might be closer than I think, I would love to try this, but I'm not sure. This is exactly what a 15-minute quick assessment is for. I look at your specific situation so that you can save time and money and get a real feedback on where you're at right now and what you need to work on and next, so that you can be ready. The link is in the description if you're interested. Now, if you're thinking that you're ready and you just need a strategy to apply to agencies in the best way so that you can maximize your chances of getting hired, you can book a full strategy session with me. The link is down below as well. Cool, so let me recap what we talked about in this video. So I shared with you my own timeline and my own story from when I started. We talked about what kind of experience actually counts, which is live experience, live interactions with the audience. We looked at what kind of experience doesn't matter as much as you think. I shared real examples from real musicians with different backgrounds. And the one thing that really matters even more than experience is what you actually put in the video. And lastly, we talked about the red flags and what you would need to work on if you have any of these red flags. And I want to end this video saying that it's probably easier than you think. I remember even after I got hired for my first contract, I felt not good enough. I felt like that was a goal that was way too ambitious. And I don't want you to hesitate if you are thinking of booking the assessment with me, because you might save yourself a lot of time. But if you already have had some experience performing, you're probably closer than you think. And even if you're not there, just a couple of months of performing regularly could get you there. So don't let any of your fears or thoughts block you from going towards that goal, because if I did it, you can do it. If this helped, feel free to subscribe down below. I post videos like this every single week, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in the comments. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.